I'd like to call this meeting to order. And before we stand for the pledge, we have a special guest today. We have Captain Sherry Heenahan Fontini, served 22 years in the 228th Forward Support Battalion, part of the Scranton's own 55th Brigade. Sherry spent 9 years as a medic, rising to the rank of Staff Sergeant. She then received a bachelor's degree in nursing and was promoted to second lieutenant. Over the next 13 years, Sherry held the position of platoon leader, executive officer, and company commander, and transportation officer, then retiring as captain. In 2001, Sherry was deployed to Germany in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. In 2005, she was deployed again, this time to Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. She was a logistics officer in the 2nd Brigade Combat Team, serving for a year on the front lines in Iraq. Sherry's awards include Bronze Star Medal, Meritorious Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Iraqi Campaign Medal, Global War on Terror Medal, Overseas Ribbon, 2nd award. So thank you for all that you've done, and thank you for your service. And Captain, the floor is yours.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so we have, I'm sure everybody had a chance to look at the minutes. So do I have a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Opportunity for the public to address the board on agenda items. Anybody? Brooks, you got anything? Nothing today? No messages from the senator?
Merry Christmas.
Okay, thank you. All right. Ordinance second reading, 25-0307.
It's the annual budget of the County of Lackawanna for the year 2026, an ordinance of the County of Lackawanna and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania fixing the tax rate and enacting the budget for the year 2026 and appropriate specific sums estimated to be required for the specific purposes of the county government herein after set forth during the current fiscal year, be it ordained and enacted, and it is hereby resolved and enacted by the Board of Commissioners of the County of Lackawanna, Pennsylvania, Section 1, that the tax be and the same is hereby levied in all property within the said county subject to taxation for county purposes for the fiscal year 2026 as follows. Tax rate for general county purposes, the sum of 4.48 mils on each dollar assessed of valuation, or the sum of 44.8 cents on each $100 of assessed valuation. For debt purposes, the sum of 1.03 mils on each dollar assessed valuation, or the sum of 10.3 cents on each $100 of assessed valuation. For the purposes of the county library system, the sum of 0.20 mils on each dollar of the assessed valuation, or the sum of 2.0 cents on each $100 of assessed valuation. For the purposes of the cultural and education fund, the sum of 0.08 mils, or the sum of 0.80 cents on each $100 of assessed valuation. The total millage for all purposes is the sum of 5.79 mils. Section 2, all prior ordinances and resolutions or parts thereof inconsistent herewith are repealed. Adopted at the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on December 17th, 2025. Commissioners, here to speak upon that is our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. David Bolzoni.
Good morning, Commissioners, and I will be brief. The reason the budget approval was deferred during the December 3rd meeting was exclusively due to the undetermined impact of the new electricity contract. That matter has been resolved and will be discussed later in the agenda. As was stated by the Chief of Staff, the general fund millage, total millage will remain at 5.7 9 mills. I won't go through the individual millage categories. The general fund budget was able to absorb the increased cost of electricity through an adjustment in the group health refund line item, which increased from the initial budgeted amount of $1.1 million to $1,568,782. The increased notification was provided to the county in November, and that was communicated by our healthcare administrator, Benecon. The budgeted increase in the electricity cost is $337,589, with remaining adjustments to the budget subsequent to the introduction of the preliminary budget, including salaries. The resulting budget surplus is $119,354. Total general fund budget is $180,828,538, and the total county budget is $311,062,567. I will say, Commissioners, and this is kind of an aside, but certainly relative to the budget, that this is the first time in 4 years that we've actually been paying bills at year end without interruption. This is not a novel concept. It should be common practice, but the county had departed from it really based on necessity, and that necessity was really poor cash flow at year end. While this initial budget resulted in a deficit, it was much more manageable than the prior 3 years. We used various revenue sources to close the gap, and while not recurring, these revenue sources have been available to the county with some measure of consistency. I would like to say that obviously you're all well aware that there's certainly much more to accomplish, but this is a start.
Thank you. Well, we've heard the second reading, we heard Dave's comments. Do I have a motion to approve the 2026 budget?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Oh, on the question.
Oh, sorry, on the question.
On the question, just have a couple closing comments on the 2026 budget. When I took office in January of 2024, which at this point seems like it was 30 years ago with everything that went on the last year, Lackawanna County was facing a financial reality that could not be ignored or wished away. We inherited unpaid bills totaling roughly $19 million, a structurally unbalanced budget to the tune of $37 million, and a system that was spending more than it was taking in month after month, year after year. And as you just heard the CFO explain, you know, this year is the first time in a long time that we're still paying bills. Prior to taking office, common practice was to stop paying vendors in June or July because of cash flow problems. That has stopped. Last year, if you remember, we had to take the unnecessary move to borrow millions of dollars just to make it to the end of the year. We're actually going to run out of money. The trajectory was unsustainable, and the consequences of inaction would have been, quite frankly, devastating. So we made a choice. We chose to confront the problem honestly. We brought in independent experts, listened to their unvarnished assessment of county finances and operations. We updated the public consistently, and we did what responsible government is supposed to do, even when it was unpopular, even when it was painful. We tightened spending, froze hiring where necessary, reformed operations, and made decisions that nobody, no politician campaigns on, but every serious leader must be willing to make. Those decisions were not easy. Raising taxes in 2024 and moving forward with a court-ordered reassessment this year came with real political and personal costs. I took that heat because the alternative, which would have been continuing to kick the can down the road, would have ultimately failed the people of this county. Leadership means acting before a crisis becomes irreversible. And I actually ran into to a woman on the street the other day, and she was talking about everything that's gone on the last year and a half. And the analogy I used with her was, if you were seeing a doctor for 10 years, and the doctor kept telling you that you were fine, everything's good, your health is good, did the blood work, did the x-rays, did the exams, you're fine. But in reality, he was just saying that to make you feel good. But in reality, you were actually sick. That doctor retires, a new doctor comes in, does all the blood work and all the tests, and tells you the truth, that you do have an issue, it can be solved, but is telling you the truth. Well, that's what happened here, in my opinion. I've only been here a year and a half. I came in, I told people what they didn't want to hear, which was the county was careening off of a cliff, and we had to make really, really tough decisions. And I've been stopped by probably at this point hundreds and hundreds of people over the last year and a half who all have different opinions on what has gone on here the last few months and the last year and a half. But what I've told them consistently is, I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you what has happened here over the last number of years, and I'm telling you that we need to fix it. So today, I'm proud to say that the results are real. If you look at the Office of Youth and Family Services, I just talked to the Director, Carrie Browning, yesterday. We inherited a case backlog of over 1,000 cases, which is a tremendous number, with only 12 caseworkers last year. We have over 50 caseworkers today, and the backlog is at 14, and that'll be extinguished either before the end of this year or early next year. Overtime costs have been lowered by a tremendous amount. We have a stable rating from our credit rating agencies. We used to have a negative outlook. We now have a stable outlook. We have experienced tremendous healthcare savings, and we will continue to do that next year. And as I said earlier, we're finally paying bills on time. The 2026 budget before you today is balanced. It includes a surplus of more than $100,000 as compared to last year when the surplus was $3,348. And it does so without raising taxes. Again, that is not an accident. It is the product of discipline, reform, and a commitment to long-term stability over short-term comfort. It reflects a county government that has stopped the freefall, stabilized the ship, and can now plan responsibly for the future. As I've said before during all of the budget hearings, we are certainly not declaring victory. Challenges remain, and there's a lot of them. But we are no longer governing in crisis mode. We are governing with predictability, accountability, and honesty. And that matters to families, to businesses, and to every taxpayer who expects their dollars to be handled responsibly. This budget proves something extremely important. And I've been involved in a lot of budgets through the years on City Council in Scranton and now as a commissioner, that tough choices made early and made deliberately work. It proves that Lackawanna County can live within its means while continuing to deliver essential services and invest in its future. That is the turnaround. And let me tell you something, folks. Today, the budget you see in front of you, this is the turnaround. This is a big turnaround from where we were in 2024 and what I inherited. That's progress. And that is why I will support this budget, and I will be voting for it today. Thank you.
Clearly, I came to the game a little late here. This budget was for the most part done, but I have been welcomed with providing input and some adjustments to it. And while there are parts of this budget that I have issues with, what is a reality is the work that this entire team has done in putting this budget together is exemplary. What has been done and the changes that have been made are just terrific. And I've been assured by our entire team that moving forward, starting in January, we can talk about and deal with some of the issues that I have and work on improving those areas as well as any other areas that pop up in which we can improve. I've been assured by our entire team that we're going to do that. We're going to work together and we're going to improve the conditions in the county. As Commissioner Gaughan said, it's terrific to walk in here and see a surplus $119,000, which is a really good step in the right direction. Hopefully that's going to continue, and hopefully our collection for our tax rate will improve from approximately 90 or 89% to a greater, stronger number, and we can improve the collections and revenue for the county and improve the budget with that. But again, hats off to the team that has worked so hard on this budget and put us in the position that we are going to be in for this coming year, and hopefully continue on that track for years coming forward. And I too will be voting in support of this budget as presented.
Thank you. And Dave, I want to thank you for myself too, for you and your team. Every day was a challenge, especially when we had 2 commissioners, then we had 3 commissioners, then we had 4 commissioners, now we're back to 3, so it was a little confusing towards the end, but you guys managed to get this through. And again, it's a work in progress, and like Thom just said, we're going to monitor this from day 1 of the first of the year. And it's going to be something that we're looking at every day, not waiting until the end of the year to see where we are, but we'll see how we can get there in a better way. But, it's been a long year, it's been a long 2 years, it's been a long 6 years for me. We didn't just get here by accident. The world shut down, you came in later, we tried to figure things out. It's been a tough 6 years, and with the help of all of our team and Brian Jeffers and just everybody involved, it was a tough go. This has not been an easy thing as a commissioner and as commissioners to deal with on a daily basis. I can't believe that I've been here for 6 years. It went by like a blur, but some days didn't move very fast, I can tell you. But we're in a good spot now. We're going to keep looking at how to improve things as we move forward, and we're all going to work together doing that, so thank you. So do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Yeah.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed. Thank you very much. Moving on to resolutions, 25-0310.
This is approving the current payables. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby approve the following payables. Lackawanna County's General Fund. Numbers 394-583-395, 214 inclusive, totaling $3,544,416.02. The county's electronic fund transfers, including all payroll accounts, totaling $7,331,314.17. Adopted regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on December 17th, 2025. Mr. Chairman.
Well, would anybody like to pay the bills for the end of the year? And we have a motion.
Anybody in the audience can do that? So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Let's see, resolution 25-0305.
This is approving the Lackawanna County's Community Reinvest Program applications. Whereas the Board of Commissioners has established the Lackawanna County Community Reinvest Program, and the Reinvest Program has been allocating monies from the Lackawanna County Economic Development Initiative to be made available to county municipalities, municipal authorities, and tax-exempt charitable and educational organizations. And whereas Lackawanna County hereby authorizes the chair of the Lackawanna County Board of Commissioners to sign all documents related to these grants. And be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby allocate funding from the Lackawanna County Community Reinvest Program to the following applicants for $5,000 each, as per attached. Scroll down here. Adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on December 17th, 2025. Mr. Chairman, here to speak upon that is our Director of Economic Development, Ms. Kristen Magnato.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, Commissioners. The Community Reinvest legislation provides funding for nonprofits, municipalities, and community groups to help achieve their goals and better our communities. Many of these organizations have little to no other options for funding. For example, we have fire and hose companies and veterans organizations. For this program, the Community Reinvest legislation program, there are 2 rounds per year year, and each round is $100,000, and there are 20 individuals, I should say, recipients awarded. Therefore, it's $200,000 a year with 40 recipients. We are asking, again, for approval today to be able to support hose companies, legions, and military organizations, Little Leagues, Missy Leagues, and EMS and EMA services, and so much more. Thank you.
Thank you. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve these applications?
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Anybody?
On the question, as Ms. Magnata said, that this is a fabulous program, and it's funny, to some people, $5,000 isn't a great deal, but to so many, it helps in such a big way, and the public can take a look at the recipients that you have chosen, your committee has approved, and take a look at that list when you can. There's a lot of good being done with these $5,000 grants, and hopefully in the coming year we can continue this good work.
Yes.
Thank you.
Increase it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Resolution 25-0306.
It's approving the filing of the local share account grants, whereas Lackawanna County is interested in promoting economic development and revitalization within Lackawanna County, and whereas Lackawanna County has submitted grant applications to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development through the statewide local share grant program on behalf of the various agencies as detailed and as per attached. Now therefore be it resolved, Lackawanna County hereby authorizes the chair of the Lackawanna County Board of Commissioners and the chief of staff to sign and authorize all documents and accept any awards related to these statewide county local shared account grants, and does hereby authorize the submission of these applications to the statewide local share account grant program on behalf of the above named entities and their respective projects. Adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on December 17, 2025. Mr. Chairman, once again, here is Director Magnata.
Thank you. This, again, is for an additional 9 LSA statewide grants, bringing the total of LSA statewides for Lackawanna County that we have administered to a little over 30. We receive a 2% administrative fee for administrating these grants, and this is no cost to the county.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
And the question?
These LSA grants, as refer to them, statewide LSA, which is local share account, they are the casino grants. The legislation was passed years ago that would help to lower your property taxes, your school taxes, and a lot of us don't seem to see that in our tax bills, but it is there, and there is a share of your taxes that is cut by the casino funds. But in addition to that, they allow for twice a year grant applications, the local share account, for which Lackawanna County receives some money from the Mount Airy casino revenue. We don't get anything from the Luzerne County casino. All of that stays in Luzerne County, but legislation was approved that allowed Lackawanna County to share in some of that grant money from the casino revenue as we get from Monroe County, and we're happy for that. And just to point out, the 30-plus applications are for organizations and groups within the county. There's a few in there that are for the county themselves, and this is the statewide. The applications go in now, and the revenues will be announced. The grant applications will be announced around this time next year. We hope, with the support of our representatives and senators statewide, that tomorrow, we've been working with them, the commissioners and our teams have been working with our representatives and our senators in trying to get a little greater share coming to us, and it's great to see here, and we do have the support, I know, of our senators. We've been lobbying them like crazy, as well as our representatives, and hopefully tomorrow we'll have some announcements that will be made by their offices giving Lackawanna County a little bit more grant money from last year's applications that were approved at this time. And then this summer we hope to hear, or this spring we hope to hear some more grant applications being approved for us with the help of our senators and representatives from the local share account. But it's great to see these applications in there, and thank you to our reps and senators for pushing a little bit harder for us. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Resolution 25-0309.
This is ratifying the submission of a grant application. Be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby ratify the submission of a grant application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development through the Multimodal Transportation Account Grant Program on behalf of the North Main Avenue Green Ridge Street Infrastructure Project in the amount of $3,011,593. Lackawanna County does hereby authorize the Chair of the Lackawanna County Board of Commissioners to sign and authorize all documents and accept any awards related to this Multimodal Transportation Account Grant. Adopted at regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on December 17th, 2025. Mr. Chairman, once again, here is Director Magnata.
Thank you. As the chief said, Lackawanna County has submitted a grant application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development through the Multimodal Transportation Account Grant Program on behalf of the North Main Avenue Green Ridge Street Infrastructure Project in the amount of $3,011,593. For anyone that is wondering where this project is, which I can't imagine anyone is wondering where it is at the top of Greenridge Street, right near Langan Apartments and the theater at North. And it is the rerouted project at the top of Greenridge Street, where you'll see that the bridge is being worked on, as well as there being some other work being done to be able to expand the roadway. It's a very important project, given not only the amount of individuals that travel that route, but also the socioeconomic impacts in that region. So we ask for approval of this ratification for this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Yeah, that's an important project. I can't wait till that's done, too. Resolution 25-0308.
Entering into an engagement letter, be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby approve and enter into an engagement letter from Baker Tilly for the 2025 Affordable Care Act reporting. Adopted regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on December 17, 2025. Mr. Chairman, here to speak upon that is our Director of Human Resources, Ms. Jenna Strzelecki.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. This is to engage Baker Tilly in filing our 1094s and 1095s for the 2025 tax year. We have worked with them the last 3 years, and they have filed them efficiently, effectively, and timely in compliance with the IRS and the Affordable Care Act regulations and timelines. The financial impact is $1,750, and we would like to work with them again. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Resolution 25-0311.
This ratifying the electricity supply agreement. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby ratify a 5-year agreement with Constellation New Energy Incorporated for county properties electricity supply. Adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on December 17, 2025. Sorry for that typo. And here to speak upon that is our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. David Bolzoni.
And of course, the the same reason that we were addressing the budget today. But this initiative resulted from the expiration of a contract with Constellation New Energy for our electricity supply for 37 county accounts. This contract was brokered originally in 2018 in conjunction with a limited energy savings project, which was undertaken by the county at that time. Request for proposal process was completed, which resulted in 2 proposals, one from WGL Energy and another from IGS Energy Services. Constellation New Energy, which of course, as our existing supplier, had submitted cost adjustments for review, and these cost adjustments really mirrored what the requirements were of the request for proposal. The current contract with Constellation allows for extensions. After what I'll call a very circuitous route, in which we needed to navigate constantly changing electricity pricing. We locked in the lowest price offered with Constellation New Energy for a 5-year purchase contract. And by stating constantly changing, it was. The electricity market is very volatile. Pricing for electricity changes multiple times on a daily basis. The cost that we locked in will increase our budget by 42%, which from a budgeted perspective changed the total electricity budget from $992,909 to what I'll call a gross adjustment of $1,409,931. Now, we also have a projected savings of $80,000, which will impact our electricity cost, and that savings is resulting from the energy savings project which the county had undertaken and which is mostly completed. The net result then is a 34% increase in the budgeted cost of electricity, and that figure is $1,330,498. The 5-year contract with Constellation will lock in a per kilowatt hour cost of 6.081 cents. Our current contract is priced at 4.298 cents per kilowatt hour. The commissioners are requested to ratify the 5-year contract with Constellation New Energy for our electricity supply.
Thank you. Would someone like to make a motion
So moved.
Second. Second.
on the question?
Well, I think it's great that you are doing this, that we are doing this, that locking it in for 5 years is just fabulous. I know on a personal level, as a consumer level, my rate just last week was 0.079. It expires the 18th, and it goes up to about 12 cents a kilowatt hour. I think we know where we're headed with our electricity rates going forward, and the fact that you're locking this in at this rate, I think is a pretty good choice. Thank you. Thank you.
Over the 5 years that were outlined within the proposals, there's really a compression in those kilowatt hour rates that were provided, and hence that was really the reason for selecting 5 years. There was very little difference between the 1-year contract and the 5-year contract.
And also allows you, should the rates go down, allows you an escape on that. Is that correct?
That's correct. There is a provision in the contract that would allow us to renegotiate the contract and extend the term at whatever the lower rate is. Although, barring some serious economic calamity, I don't think I would hold my breath for a lower rate.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Tom, when yours goes to 12 cents, I hope you're not going to be here shaving and stuff like that in the mornings.
I'll be using a long extension cord from here.
We'll be watching. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Opportunity for the public to address the board. Anyone?
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
I want to wish everybody in Lackawanna County a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, a safe and healthy New Year. You have to bear with me. I'm a terrible public speaker. Mr. Gaughan, I want to thank you for taking the initiative and the backbone to do what you're doing. And I'd like to ask you how the reassessment plan is going forward, and if it is going to go forward, in your opinion.
Yeah, yes, it's completed. It's been completed.
And there's no chance of it being stopped?
No.
Thank you. Commissioner Chermak, a while back, you attended a rally, Donald Trump at the Poconos. I find that a conflict of interest, being a city commissioner. And the reason why I mention that is a while back, Commissioner Gaughan was at a rally on Courthouse Square. They call it the King's Rally, against the King's Rally, and I say it was a dictator's rally, because this man sitting in the Oval Office is a dictator. And this is about democracy. This is not a political statement. This is about democracy. So, can you explain, Commissioner Chermak, why you were at that rally, being a city commissioner, when Mr. Gaughan was called out this past summer.
So why I went to see the President of the United States? That's your question?
Yeah, do you think it was right for you to be there?
I've been to see other presidents too when they're in town. So yes, I think that was appropriate for me to be there.
Well, I think it was wrong. That's my personal opinion. And Mr. Weller, for the life of me, I don't know what your agenda is, but something stinks. This man, Commissioner Gaughan, got the majority of the votes, and he's now the minority. And you sit there for a couple of weeks, and you're going to work on things, make decisions. It stinks, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope going forward in the new year that all three of you can get together and make good decisions for Lackawanna County. Because as I see it right now, Mr. Gaughan has been made the better decisions of this county going forward. I'm a 78-year-old senior citizen. I get up in the morning, I put my 2 feet on the floor, and I say to myself, why do I care? 5 minutes later, I get up, go to the kitchen, fix breakfast. I do care. And this man, I hate to talk about the federal government because this is county business. This man sitting in the Oval Office in Washington, without a doubt, is a dictator. And every day he breaks laws. He goes against the Constitution. And nothing is being done because the people in Washington, D.C. don't have a backbone. Since January 6, 2021, this man should have been out of office. As a matter of fact, he shouldn't even be walking the streets today. But the law didn't apply to him. He does everything wrong. He is not for the people. He's for himself, and it's just beyond belief. If he makes the 4 years, well, it's going to take us a generation for us to get back on our feet again as a country. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir, could you state your name and where?
Oh, John Thomas,
And where do you live?
Scranton.
Thank you.
Joan?
Joan Hodawana, Scranton. First of all, I want to wish everyone a happy holiday season. I hope that the new year brings everyone, elected officials, county employees, and the residents of Lackawanna County, health and happiness. Looking back at 2025, I wish every one of you would take a note that you're not going to resign your seat for the next X number of years, so we don't have to go through that deal ever again. And I just, think of the time and the energy, God knows money, lost with what we went through in this year. So please, unless you're dying of cancer or some god-awful disease, I expect to see your little booties there in those seats every 2 weeks. Okay. A couple of weeks ago, you all approved a resolution to support a documentary about the trouble with Cali, if you all recall that. For those who have never seen the film or would like to see the film, the Albright Memorial Library is going to have it shown on Saturday, January 10th at 2 p.m. in the Henkelman Room. It is free. The only thing we ask is if you get the chance, just call the library at 348-3000 so they get an idea of how many people they need to seat so they have sufficient chairs. But Frederickson, you said that it's funny?
It's better with age.
Well, then I don't know if people need a reason to laugh between the beginning of the new year and tax season and Super Bowl Sunday. Maybe you want to come. It's a Saturday, so most people are not working. Come on down, it's free. It's just one of the many things that the library offers, and to support the people. But I'm going to be there. I have not seen it. I haven't, if I ever get a chance, I may buy the DVD just to have it as a cult classic, but we shall see. I came late because I have to attend the Police Commission Board, which is also at 10 p.m. because I'm a member of that commission. But I don't know whether you talked about it at all, but I hope the county is monitoring the proposals for all these data centers, AI data centers being proposed for the Mid-Valley. I think this is something for which, local and county leadership should be talking about with the public and among yourselves. This has the potential for being disruptive to the residents and homeowners. Will it bring in revenue? I'm sure it will. Is it worth the revenue it's going to bring in? Who knows? We have a lot of landfills in the area. That looked to be a bargain at one point in time, and now the residents have second thoughts about all those landfills. So when you make your comments at the end of the meeting, maybe you could talk a little bit about your thoughts on all these AI data centers being proposed, especially in the Mid-Valley. God help us if a new technology comes along and all those data centers become obsolete. They will be the column dumps of the 21st century. Thank you, and I do wish everyone the best in the new year.
Thank you. Anyone else? Commissioners, other business, Commissioner Gaughan?
Yes, thank you. Just a few comments. The first, I just want to go on the record again. I mentioned this a few months ago. Kind of a warning to people about the decisions that are being made in Washington that are about to hit working families, seniors, and children right here in Lackawanna County. And unfortunately, the county is going to be left to pick up the pieces. First, on health care. As many of you probably have seen recently in the news, the Enhanced Affordable Care Act premium tax credits are set to expire at the end of this year. Analysts project that on average, marketplace enrollees' premium payments would jump about 114% in 2026. That's roughly $1,016 more per year for the typical subsidized enrollee. Independent researchers have estimated that 4.8 million people across the country could become uninsured in 2026 if those enhanced credits aren't extended, and at this point they are not going to be extended. It's not only the premiums. The one big beautiful bill that was marketed over the last year includes major health policy changes. The Congressional Budget Office estimates the Medicaid work requirement provisions are going to cause millions of people to become uninsured. Second, on hunger, and I've mentioned this before, I think back in the summer, that same law, the big beautiful bill, contains major changes to SNAP benefits, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It's going to be cut. And the USDA SNAP guidance shows that the law tightens and removes key exemptions, including eliminating certain exceptions for people experiencing homelessness and for veterans, while also expanding work-related eligibility issues. Independent analysis also finds these changes could cause 22.3 million families to lose some or all SNAP benefits. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because here's what that means for county government. I looked this morning on the dashboard for Pennsylvania. The governor puts out the state government puts out a dashboard. This is the projected Pennsylvanians who will lose Medicaid due to federal changes. And I zoomed in on Lackawanna County. 6,289 people are going to lose Medicaid coverage in Lackawanna County. That's almost 11% of the people in our county who are on Medicaid getting booted off. There's 58,810 people in our county out of 215,000 people who are on Medicaid. That's about 27% of our population. So 6,289 people are going to get kicked off. That's about the size of the borough of Blakely. In Pennsylvania, 39% of children are covered by Medicaid. 34% of all births are covered by Medicaid. 13% of seniors in Pennsylvania are covered by Medicaid. 59% of nursing home residents are covered by Medicaid. Devastating effects. In Lackawanna County, there are 40,987 people who receive supplemental nutrition assistant program, the SNAP benefits. That's 19%, almost 20% of our population here in the county. With the changes that are going to occur, and they haven't hit yet, but they're gonna hit, 3,565 people are projected in our county to get kicked off of receiving those benefits. That's nearly 10%. 1 in 12 people in Lackawanna County who receive those benefits now will get booted off. 35% of SNAP users in Pennsylvania are people under the age of 18. These are kids. 25% of SNAP recipients across the country are 55 years, or I'm sorry, in Pennsylvania, are 55 years of age or older. 11% of SNAP recipients are between 18 and 54, and they have a disability. So when we watch the news, and again, I talked about this back in the summer, it's hard to really understand it because it's so big. But when you look at the way that this is going to affect the people in Lackawanna County, it's devastating. For example, the Area Agency on Aging. What does this mean for one of the agencies that we oversee here in Lackawanna County? When seniors' health care costs rise and food assistance tightens, we see it immediately in this building. More demand for meals, caregiver support, and emergency help. So our costs will go up, and the people that we serve are going to be hurt. Youth and Family Services, which you've heard me talk about ad nauseum since January 2024. When families lose medical coverage, like Medicaid, or food support, like SNAP, the stress shows up as instability. When you can't get a meal and you can't get health care coverage, your whole world falls apart. What does that mean for Lackawanna County? More crisis calls, more prevention needs, and more pressure on a system that is already under siege. I talk to Carrie Browning several times a month, and the calls don't stop. The people don't stop coming through our door for a variety of different reasons. Drug and alcohol and behavioral health services that we oversee in the county. When people lose health care coverage, they delay care, they skip medications, and they fall out of treatment. That leads to more overdoses, more emergency room visits, and more strain on county-funded services. So this is the definition of pushing costs down the line. It doesn't make people healthier. It doesn't make families stronger. It just shifts the burden to local governments, to our local hospitals, to our schools, and first responders, while real people here in Lackawanna County pay the price in empty cupboards and untreated illnesses. So I'm bringing this up again because this is going to become real. We're going to see this. It's going to affect our budget, but more importantly, it's going to affect the people that we serve. I've said since I became a commissioner, the county government is really one big social service agency. We help people. We help deliver mandated services. Those services are going to skyrocket, and we're not going to be able to handle it. And you can ask any professional in this building, whether it's drug and alcohol, the Area Agency on Aging, or Office of Youth and Family Services, what they are experiencing now. That's only going to get much, much worse. I paid a visit a couple weeks ago to the Friends of the Poor in Southside, and I can tell you, in talking to the people that work there, the number of people in this county, and even outside this county, who are coming to Friends of the Poor for meals, for food, for help, has gotten to numbers that would have been unimaginable even 4 or 5 years ago, to the point that everybody's having a hard time keeping up with it. My point in saying that is, it's gonna get a lot worse. It's gonna get a lot worse because of what the federal government has decided to do. And really, it's an attack on poor people, and it's an attack on the middle class. And really, that's who we are in Lackawanna County. We're a middle-class county. Well, a lot of people are going to be hurt by this. So, again, urge our federal delegation here in Pennsylvania to actually do something about it, to step up and to scream about it, because it's coming at us like a freight train. If these policies stand, which it looks like they're going to, the harm isn't going to be theoretical. It's going to be visible in the caseloads, in our emergency rooms, and in every neighborhood in Lackawanna County. So I just wanted to, once again, as I did about 3 or 4 months ago, sound the alarm bell to let people know what's coming down the track. Ms. Hodawanitz brought up the data centers. I think I've said this before at a commissioner meeting, serious concerns about the data centers. I read the article that was in today that Chris Kelly wrote. I read the article on Sunday where they went down to Loudoun County, Virginia. You're not going to provide any housing to people, which is what we need in Lackawanna County, by building data centers. You're not going to help people pay their grocery bills, certainly not going to help them with their electricity bills. This is going to have a real effect on our county. And certainly there may be economic benefits to it, but it's not what they're making it out to be. About 10 years ago, I screamed about Scranton city government selling the Scranton Sewer Authority. At the time, they said, this is a great deal. It's going to lower your sewer costs over the long-term deal. This is great, sign on to it. Well, I railed against it because I knew what was going to happen. I have not talked to anybody who has had their sewer bill stabilized or lowered. It's only skyrocketed. The data centers are going to destroy our electricity rates in Lackawanna County. They already are, because we're on the grid. So what's happening in Virginia is already affecting us here in Lackawanna County. Nobody can afford it. It's only going to get worse. And God bless the people in Archibald and in the Mid-Valley and all around Lackawanna County who are going to have to deal with these monstrosities. And as Ms. Hodawanitz pointed out, technology changes every day. What happens when the technology it changes and these big buildings are left there? I kind of compare it to what happened with the coal barons. They came here, they raped the land, and then they left. And they left us, like my great-grandfather lived on Pittston Avenue, his house was falling into the mines. All people in Southside, Panuco, Westside, all over Scranton and all over Lackawanna County were left with the chaos of that industry. So I think everybody needs to stop and think long and hard before we launch into this data center craze. Everybody tells me it's going to happen no matter what, but we're going to feel, my children and my grandchildren and great-grandchildren are going to feel the effects of it. So, and with that, wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Commissioner Welby?
First, Mr. Thomas, I want to thank you for first being involved in the community. It's important that we have people like you that's willing to get up in the morning, put your feet on the floor, and do something about the things that are happening around us. As far as the Commissioner Gaughan being in the minority, I don't see that. I am a Democrat. I'm perhaps an independent Democrat, but I am a Democrat, as is Commissioner Gaughan. And regarding Chairman Chermak being the chair, it's as the result of Robert's Rules of Order in most any organization. He was the vice chair under Chairman Sacco. When Chairman Sacco left, the vice chair sits in that position until the reorganization, which is going to happen in January. And I think he's doing a wonderful job. Granted, it's just for 2 meetings, but I think he's doing a terrific job. And as far as our not working together, I think it's been pretty refreshing to see what's happened in these last few weeks compared to what happened 8 months prior to this. I'm happy that we were able to talk and discuss at great length the budget issues and departmental issues and a lot of other things that are going on. And it's refreshing for me, from my perspective, to see the three of us working together. And hopefully we'll continue to do that. And again, I thank you for standing up and speaking up. I mean, you know, whether it's about me or anybody else, I just appreciate that you do that, and we need more people that are willing to stand up and speak up. Joan, again, when I see you often, I thank you for your service, and I thank you for your sacrifice in serving our country, and also for you for standing up at most every meeting that I see on ECTV. It's good to see that. It's good to see you. As far as the data centers go, as I said before, it's up to the local municipalities. If a local municipality doesn't want it, it's up to them to stand up, go to the zoning meetings, go to the borough meetings, the council meetings, whatever they are, and let it be known that they're not going to tolerate it in their community. It's up to them to make that decision. And I pray that if there are decisions to place them along the Casey Highway or wherever they choose to place it, that they never consider putting it anywhere near a neighborhood. And that hopefully they can do something about that by speaking up. And regarding Commissioner Gaughan's comments and about what's going on, particularly on the federal level, is absolutely frightening. What's going on with our health care. And he's, 100% right doesn't sound strong enough about what we're facing, what families are facing, what so many people are facing. I think we have a pretty responsive state delegation in our area, and oftentimes when we go to them, we're preaching to the choir, and we have to reach out to those that aren't agreeing with the issues that we feel strong about. But on the federal level, we all have to step up and speak up in a really loud way. Get in touch with your federal representatives, your elected officials on the federal level, and having them stop being cowards on so many issues and refusing to stand up to the president, not to be political, but some of the things that he has done and said, I find difficult to believe. The comments that he just made recently about the murders of two people, that something like that would come out of his mouth. I mean, I look at things the way I think pretty much everybody in this room grew up. What would our mother or grandmother say about a comment like that coming out of our mouth? And that anybody would say something like that, and that anyone would look at the health care of our nation, of all these people that are going to be affected, and be so callous and nonchalant about it. But it's because enough people aren't speaking up, and enough people aren't telling the elected representatives that are siding with him to stop it and to put the people first and use some common sense and decency. But I urge you to reach out to your elected officials at the federal level and let them know how strongly you feel about it and you want something done about it. That being said, I join all of us that have expressed it in wishing you all a wonderful, happy, safe holiday, a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah, and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, thank you, everybody, for coming. Joan, thank you. And the data center, sure, that's front and center for everyone, not only just here in this area, but statewide and certainly nationwide in different areas. And like Thom said, it is up to the local municipalities to make their decisions whether they're going to allow these monstrosities in different areas. But, you know, I certainly don't want to see them in neighborhoods or near houses and things like that, but we'll see what these local municipalities decide. Archibald seems to be pretty far ahead on maybe having one. I hope that if it does come to fruition, I hope that it's done properly. I hope it just works out for everybody. And I wouldn't doubt that someday that they'll be obsolete. We'll see. There are some good things that went on, though. We did have a winter market that was very successful, thanks to Maureen McGuigan and her team. It was held over at the courthouse, and it truly was a winter market. It was cold, but people came out. The vendors were great. I think people really enjoyed it, and it seemed to work well. And it's a lot of work for our parks and our maintenance people to set up the structures that I think there's 50 of them that each vendor uses, but it's well worth it. It's a little effort. This year we had a snowstorm just before, but they worked through it, and it turned out great. Even last night we had the kids at the Drug and Alcohol does a poster contest every year, and all the younger kids, high school kids, all submit their drawings and their posters. I think this year was like 1,266 people that they had to vote on and look through. We went to the event last night. They were great. I'm glad I wasn't a judge because they were very difficult to have to pick the winners. But you'll see some of them on billboards throughout the area coming up on some of the winners. But the kids did a great job. So Thanks to Barb Durkin and her team at Drug and Alcohol. It was just really nice. Looking forward to next year. I know we're all gonna be working together. We have a lot of work to do here at the county, but we're gonna work hard, all of us. So I wanna wish everybody, like Thom just said, happy Hanukkah. I know we're in the middle of that season right now. I wanna wish everybody a safe and a healthy, happy New Year. Merry Christmas. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.